Let's do the number 7. So the number 7, you want to think of the 7 chakras. You want to think of the 7 colors of the rainbows, which is still associated with the 7 chakras. In ancient times, there were 7 planets. I mean, they had the moon as a planet, and they had different things, but they basically said there were 7 planets. So the number 7 is a really, really important number. Pythagoras, who is the father of mathematics and numerology, considered the 7 to be the super cool number of the universe. And so it is a pattern number. It is about structures and strategies and how you put those structures and strategies together. So in the number sequences, 1 is the individual, it's the I, it's the self. The number 2 is the number of duality. So the masculine, feminine, good, bad, right, wrong. The number 3 is about the Trinity. So, but it's also called devil and divine. So it means learning to work with that duality and coming into alignment with that duality. So it's kind of like Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. The mother, the father, and the crone. The virgin, the mother, and the crone. The mother, the father, and the child. So it's that number 3 as all those things come together. And it's a positive mind number. The number 4 is a neutral mind number and coming into harmony and balance with everything in your surrounding, finding inner peace. The number 5 is the physical body, the physical earth, birth, death, healing, the transformation that is associated with the physical world. The number 6 is a purity number. It is the number of the arc line. It's the number of the heart chakra and the connection of the upper triad of chakras with the lower triad of chakras. And the number 7 is all the chakras. So all those chakras kind of coming together. So when you have everything in alignment, you want to think of it like a telescope that has all the lenses in place. And when all the lenses are in place, you've got a strategy, a structure, a map, a plan, a way to accomplish things. And money is a strategy. So if you talk to anybody who's really good at making money, they have a system. And they go, oh, money's really easy. You just do this, 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 and this is how you make money. And they're not wrong. So people who are billionaires and multimillionaires and people that are really good at creating corporations or making something, they usually have a lot of the number 7s in their numerological pattern in the yogic system or in their name or in the company's name. And so they are surrounded by this number 7. I personally love the 7 because it is a number that is intuitive but structured. The number 11 is a number that is pulling things out of thin air. You don't know why you know something, but you just know it. The number 7 is the number of astrology, numerology, palmistry, maps, patterns, pendulums, aromatherapy, Bach flower remedies, muscle energy balancing systems. So all of those things that help create a structure that is a teachable structure that then you can impart that map or that pattern to others, and then they can utilize that map and have great results, similar results, or just results in general. So it's about how do you structure subtle energy in such a way that it can manifest in the physical plane. To do that, you have to have the lower chakras, the middle chakras, and the upper chakras in alignment. So you can imagine that if you've got a lens of a telescope out of alignment, you can't see very well, right? So you have to have all the pieces in place in order to get things to manifest in the physical world. For you to see the divine, you have to have all of these lined up. And for you to be able to pull something from the divine into the physical, you have to have all of those lined up too. This becomes really important because if you want to take a dream that you have and manifest it, but you don't have the heart, you just don't have the willingness to do something, it won't happen. If you can't communicate about it, it also isn't going to happen. If you don't have a passion for it in your lower chakras, it's not going to happen. And if you don't have the determination and the skill of the first chakra to just tote that barge, lift that bale, work, 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 you also aren't going to make it happen. So people say to me all the time, oh, I want to be a famous musician. I'm like, awesome, that's really great. What do you play? And they're like, oh, I don't play a musical instrument. I'm like, okay, so do you sing? No. Do you write music? No, but I'm going to be a famous musician. And I'm like, no, you're not. Okay, because you have to bring all of those things through all of the chakras, which is the power, the strength, and the energy of the number 7, and vice versa. You know, that you can bring things up to the divine, but they need to be able to move through all of those chakras too. So the number 7 is really important because the feminine, I'll say it like this, the feminine needs to feel safe, first chakra. Then they feel sexual, which is second chakra. Then their emotions start to open up, third chakra. Then they feel love. Then they communicate the truth. Then they see that vision and energy of the possibility. Okay, that's how the feminine moves, which is kind of slower because it's feminine, it's earth energy, so it's kind of coming from the bottom up. And the masculine energy kind of moves from the top down. So men, they're like, oh my God, she's beautiful. Visual, for the 6th chakra. She's beautiful. I want to talk to her, communicate. I'm in love. Then I feel my feelings. Then I feel sexual. Then I want stability. Okay, so these energies run differently, whether it's masculine and feminine, but they basically still have to run through all those chakras one way or the other. The number 7 to me is the number of the mystics. When Julius Caesar walked through the courtyard and the old woman said to him, beware the Ides of March, she was a 7. Because she's seeing the pattern. You know, it's like when the kings used to ask the mystics, I'm going to go to war a week from Tuesday. Is that a good day? And they would say, oh, no, sire, Mars is hitting Venus, and that is an inauspicious day, and that would be a terrible day to go to war. Okay? So there are these things, there are these dynamics that happen that have a structure, and they have a reason behind it. That's the number 7. Not knowing why you know something, and it just is the number 11. So, but we're talking about the number 7, which really wants a repeatable pattern and a structure. So the number 7 is the number of managers, supervisors, you know, the person who's the contractor that basically has to plan everything around it. So he's got this entire thing put together, like how he's going to put it together. So he's got a map, he's got a plan, he's got a strategy, and he's going to work with that. Now, the problem with the number 7 is that if you have a lot of 7s in your numbers, and I have 2 7s in my number pattern, people can think that you think you're the know-it-all. As I'm doing this video. So they think that you think you know everything. Oh, she thinks she's so smart. She knows everything. Which of course is not true, and no 7 ever really thinks that. It's just we're trying to make sense out of subtlety. We are trying to create some sort of a map that can create an outcome and a repeatable strategy that includes all the chakras. So a lot of times people who are number 7s take a lot of hits from other people because, you know, a number 7, which is, say, you know, a manager or a supervisor, can see that Jonathan, Teresa, Melinda, Ann, and Kathy work really great together, but don't throw Samantha in there because Samantha is really good over here, but she's not really good with this group, and she won't vibe with this group, and then this will disrupt this group, and then this group will go to hell in a handbasket. And so the number 7 person is a person who sees that strategy and says, no, this group is doing awesome, and I don't want to mess with it. They're all in their strengths. They're all doing really well, and it's smooth, and it's effortless, and it's easy. And Samantha is good maybe over here, and I really like Samantha, but she doesn't do well over here. Well, every once in a while, the Samanthas of the world say, well, you're not letting me over in this group, and I could do that, and I want to do that, and da-da-da-da-da. And what happens is that the number 7 person is going to say no. So the number 7 is also a number of boundaries. Sometimes there's a line, and the number 7 has to draw that line. So the Samanthas will get mad because to a number 7, it's like, well, can't she see that she's going to be miserable over there? And why would I put her over there if she's completely miserable? And no, I'm not going to appease her ego to have her come over and be part of this group when it's completely not going to work. So 7s are strategists, and they just want it to work as smoothly and as effortlessly and as easily as is possible. And every once in a while, there's somebody's ego that wants to fight, and they want to be in a position that they really will be unhappy at. And that is never good, because then that creates disruption. So the whole idea that a 7 is operating in is what is smoothest, what is easiest, what's least complicated, what is going to cause the least distress and have the best outcome. And that's how they operate. Now, I'm not saying they're always correct. I'm just saying that that's how their brain is actually working in that process. So if I wanted to make a number 7 crazy, all I'd have to do is promise them I was going to do something and not do that, because the 7 would never do that. They're a strategist thinker. It's illogical to say you're going to do something and then not do it. It just creates chaos. Why would you ever do that? So if you've got 7s in your numbers, or you have 7s in your numbers and you're in a 7-day, you're going to be a bliss bunny, because it's like, oh, there's a structure day and I'm a structured person and this is going to work awesome, right? But if you're not a 7, you can imagine structure might feel a bit constraining. It might feel a bit like, like I have to fit in somebody's box, right? So there are some numbers that don't like, constraint, and they're going to push against it. And so, but in a 7-day, it's best to have some sort of structure, even if it's a loose sort of structure, so that you can navigate and work with that day. The number 7 is a great number. It's a magical number, but it's a structured magical number rather than an esoteric number. It is also the number of like your bones, the foundation of your body. So the basic structure that is your body, the basis on which your body is standing. So it's also the structure of things, like the groundwork, what creates a business? What is the basic structure? Yeah, this is where you get mission statements and stuff like this. Like 7s want to have that mission statement. What are we doing exactly? And here I need a plan for what is this person's job description. That's a 7 vibration. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this.